Right now, across the globe, over 2 billion cups of this dark, bitter liquid are consumed every single day. It fuels Wall Street, powers silicon startups, and wakes up half the human race. We call it our morning fuel. Yet, 400 years ago, possessing this black liquid was a crime punishable by torture, beheading, and being sewn into a leather sack and tossed into the freezing sea. Popes condemned it as the devil's brew, kings feared it more than foreign armies, and tyrants launched secret police forces just to hunt down anyone caught boiling it. How did a wild red berry, discovered by dancing goats in the mountains of Africa, become the most banned substance on Earth, sparking global espionage, fueling the transatlantic slave trade, and accidentally creating modern capitalism? This is the forbidden history of coffee. Our story begins in the 9th century in the rugged highlands of Kaffa, Ethiopia. A young goat herd named Kaldi noticed something bizarre. After grazing on the bright red berries of an unfamiliar wild shrub, his goats became uncontrollably energetic, leaping, dancing, and refusing to sleep through the night. Kaldi took the strange berries to a local monastery. The chief monk, terrified of their intoxicating effect, declared them demonic and hurled them straight into a blazing fire. But as the seeds began to roast, a rich, mesmerizing aroma filled the stone hall. Hypnotized by the scent, the monks raked the glowing beans from the ash, crushed them, and poured boiling water over them. That night, as they drank the dark infusion, they found they could pray and chant for hours without a single trace of exhaustion. The secret crossed the Red Sea into Yemen, where Sufi mystics named it Qahwa, the wine of the bean. By the 14th century, Yemen's port city of Mocha had established the world's first total coffee monopoly. Under penalty of death, the Arabs forbade any fertile, unroasted bean from leaving their borders. They thought their secret was safe forever. They were dead wrong. By the 15th century, coffee reached the heart of the Ottoman Empire. In Istanbul, the world's first dedicated coffee houses opened. They were called kahve khanes, literally schools of the wise. But to the ruling elite, they were something far more dangerous, breeding grounds for revolution. Unlike taverns, where alcohol made men dull, sluggish, and compliant, coffee made men sharp, alert, and critical. In coffee houses, citizens gathered to question tax rates, expose government corruption, and ridicule the Sultan. To an absolute monarch, an awake public was an existential threat. In 1633, Sultan Murad IV declared a total ban on coffee. He didn't just issue fines, he made it a capital offense. Disguised as a commoner, the Sultan prowled the alleys of Istanbul with an executioner. Anyone caught drinking or selling coffee was beheaded on the spot. For a second offense, the violator was sewn inside a leather bag and thrown into the deep waters of the Bosphorus. Yet, even with severed heads lining the streets, the aroma of coffee refused to fade. Men risked their lives every night in hidden underground cellars to get a sip. Murad IV learned the hard way. You can kill the drinkers, but you cannot kill the addiction. When Venetian merchants finally smuggled coffee into Christian Europe, priests were horrified. They called it the bitter invention of Satan and the Muslim brew, begging Pope Clement VIII to issue a papal ban against the unholy drink. The Pope took a sip, paused, and famously declared, "This devil's drink is so delicious that we should cheat the devil by baptizing it." With a single papal blessing, coffee flooded the European continent. In 17th century England, coffee triggered a cognitive revolution. Before coffee, Europeans drank weak beer and wine throughout the day because water was contaminated with disease. Society was essentially in a permanent state of mild drunkenness. Coffee sobered an entire continent up overnight. For the price of a single penny, anyone could enter a London coffee house, drink a cup, and debate politics, philosophy, and science. They became known as penny universities. Lloyd's of London, the world's largest insurance market, and the London Stock Exchange both began not in government offices, but at the wooden tables of coffee houses. European demand exploding, the race to break the Arab monopoly turned into high-stakes espionage. In 1670, an Indian Sufi mystic named Baba Budan smuggled 7 fertile seeds out of Mecca by taping them directly against his chest, successfully planting them in southern India. In 1720, French naval officer Gabriel de Clieu stole a single coffee seedling from King Louis XIV's royal greenhouse. During a brutal ocean voyage plagued by pirates and drought, de Clieu shared his own meager ration of drinking water with the plant. That single surviving seedling reached the island of Martinique and became the parent of over 50 million coffee trees across Latin America. But the cheap coffee fueling European intellectuals came at a devastating human cost. To meet global thirst, empires built colossal plantation colonies in the Caribbean and Brazil. By the late 1700s, half the world's coffee was produced in Haiti by enslaved Africans working under conditions so horrific that the average lifespan of a worker was less than 7 years. The blood-soaked coffee fields fueled the Haitian Revolution of 1791. Meanwhile, in America, after the Boston Tea Party of 1773, drinking British tea was labeled treason, making coffee the patriotic duty of every American rebel. From that moment on, America ran on coffee. Why did this plant conquer the world while thousands of others failed? The secret lies deep inside your brain. Every waking minute, your body produces a chemical called adenosine, which binds to brain receptors to make you feel tired. But caffeine is a biological master key. Its molecular shape is nearly identical to adenosine. It plugs into the receptor, locks it, and prevents your brain from realizing you are exhausted. During the Industrial Revolution, factory owners realized something incredible. Human beings were naturally governed by the sun, but with coffee, they could work 14, 16, or 18 hours in the dark. The coffee break was born not as a luxury for the worker, but as an efficiency tool for the boss. Today, coffee is a $500 billion global industry. It is no longer just a beverage. It is the fundamental lubricant of the global economy. Without it, modern financial markets, software development, and 24/7 supply chains would literally grind to an immediate halt. Think about the irony. A plant that an Ethiopian monk tried to burn as witchcraft, that an Ottoman Sultan beheaded men for drinking, and that European kings tried to ban out of sheer terror, now sits on every kitchen counter in the world. The next time you take that first warm sip in the morning, remember, you aren't just drinking caffeine. You are tasting 500 years of royal fear, international smuggling, bloody revolutions, and the ultimate victory of human curiosity over tyrannical control. Which everyday commodity has the darkest secret history? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this journey through history, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another deep dive into the hidden stories that built our world.